Beautiful Anonymous changes each week. It defies genres and expectations. For example, our most recent episode, I talked to a woman who survived a murder attempt by her own son. But just the week before that, we just talked the whole time about Star Trek. We've had other recent episodes about sexting in languages that are not your first language, or what it's like to get weight loss surgery. It's unpredictable, it's real, it's honest, it's raw. Get Beautiful Anonymous wherever you listen to podcasts.
Welcome to Critical Hit, a Major Spoilers podcast. Thank you so much for downloading and checking us out this week, and I think we're going to have lots of action for you this time around. Am I correct in thinking that, Rodrigo?
No!
Oh.
Wait, maybe.
We're just going to talk at the ghosts. We're going to have philosophical conversations with them.
I mean, that could work, too.
We will resolve this diplomatically.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I'm in. Let's go.
On Critical Hit.
Woo! Yes, this time.
Diplomacy on Critical Hit.
And there aren't even any horses. Hooray!
There are goats.
It's true. So if you don't invade Hungary, we will use our units.
Or flip the table.
Yeah, that's about right.
I love that game.
All right.
Not a fan.
So what's been happening?
We have all taken a long nap.
Yes.
So we've got all of our things are topped off now.
Yeah.
We have brokered peace between ancient enemies.
We have monitored ghost patrols to learn their weaknesses, and we're going to try to get some dwarves in the front door.
Everybody turned
We're
down.
going to have fun storming the castle.
Everyone turned down the brilliant idea of building a statue of the Obsidian Huntress, sneaking in that way, but whatever.
We didn't turn it down so much as not give it any thought whatsoever. I mean, one sounds insulting, and the other is what happened. So, you know.
I mean, to be
We've
fair,
had worse ideas.
Yes. This idea has one well-documented time in which it worked. So that's often more than your other ideas.
Yeah.
That is true. But the problem is that, perhaps they also know that one well-documented time.
Nah, they're all dead.
Also,
doesn't
that's
mean
an
they're
anachronism
dumb.
that even we don't know.
Yeah, also, it didn't happen in this universe, but did it? Have you guys ever tried like a straight up like Trojan horse? I don't remember.
The closest thing we did was the in the water tank thing.
I suppose so. That
Yeah.
is pretty close, dude.
I mean, I wasn't there. I mean,
that
Seven
didn't
Owls
work.
wasn't there, but he's
that
heard
was
the
pretty- that was
he's heard
pretty
the
close.
stories.
So that was something that was supposed to be there, as opposed to like,
Yeah.
what is this thing, and why would we bring it into our keep?
Mhm.
It's a gift. Just don't look a gift Obsidian Huntress in the mouth.
Exactly. Oh, the Trojanity.
That's terrible.
Oh, Rob must be tired. That's the second thing he's laughed at tonight that he wouldn't normally. Yes.
What is the plan?
Basically, we're gonna try to play this out like a stealth game and use our knowledge of how the patrols move to avoid them as we get close to the gate.
Okay. And then open the gate and let the dwarves in.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Open up the gate and let the dwarves come in.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Let's go ahead and officially make this a skills challenge.
Oh, skill challenge. We heard it coming.
When do you guys roll initiative?
Hey, Rob
They
rolled
better
a
be
20.
friggin' last, guys.
He did.
That's okay. I'm not too far behind. I rolled a 22.
I can't
job.
find keys that have letters on them.
Hey,
Thanks,
all
Steven.
right. You're welcome. Did you add your +2 already?
No.
7 else wise.
Better.
22.
I do gotta roll 2. Well, that's gonna be the first one.
Albrecht.
32.
Dallin.
20. The lowest I can possibly get.
Little Sparkle.
35.
And Sakar.
A 20-20-24 initiative.
So, the goal is get into the keep, open the gate for some dwarves,
Survive.
Try not to die. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take it to the top with Little Sparkle.
All right. Like I said, playing it like a stealth game. So just trying to use our previous knowledge of the patrols to plan ways to, get people moving at the right time without calling attention to ourselves with stealth.
All right, go for it.
Well, that's an one.
Ooh,
Wow.
great start.
Good start. Gonna re-roll that with always a natural.
It already is natural.
Go for it.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing. And that actually gives me. Wait, no, that doesn't give me a +5. That's just the one that's just a reroll. So into a 40.
Much better.
That's a lot better.
Yep.
It's not even a very good roll for you.
It's decent. It's above average.
That'll be a success.
Sweet.
That's gonna take us to. Little Sparkle. We'll say Little Sparkle manages to easily get the group right up to the keep, and/or wherever you guys decide is a good place to be. So, that's gonna take us to Albrecht.
Can Albrecht try to pry open a section of the wall, like loose sheet metal, so that we can slip inside without having to go inside using athletics?
There probably isn't a section of wall that can be pried open like that. But there might be, some kind of like waste grate, or possibly some other way to use athletics. But if what you're wanting to do is pry something open, then you're probably going to have to find. You'd have to do it at some sort of like sewer entrance or something similar, but not the wall itself.
It sounds like a plan here. So
all right, go for it.
We'll try it. 40? Excellent.
40, yes. That is still a success. So Albrecht, quietly even, just removes an entire grate and sets it down, and allowing you guys to move in.
Puts it back without anyone noting. Being the wiser.
Now it's going to take us to Sakar.
Sakar. Boy, that's a good point. It just occurred to me, and I've been not taking advantage of this form now for several levels. When I have a power that says it's a power that gives me a bonus to athletic, perception, and stealth checks, is that something that I can utilize during the skills challenges?
I mean, you gotta hope so, because skills
Otherwise,
tend to not be very good during combat unless it also provides some combat bonus.
Well, then I feel really dumb. I'm gonna try and use that. The Blood Wolf form gives me +5 power bonus to all three of those things, one of which I'm actually good at. Well, that's not true. Two of which I'm really good at, and one I'm just sort of, hello. So yes, Sakar is going to be a really creepy blood shadow wolf thing
And
with elements of tree. And find a way to make perception work. Because athletics, my big skill, was just used. And I'm not bitter about it.
Well, that's why we roll initiative.
It's very true, just to tick us all off in rotational order. So, perception. Albrecht lifted a grate. You're doing a thing. And you're like, wow, that grate sure was quiet. I wonder if there's more such things around here. I'm going to perceive them.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Is that gonna
Sakar
work?
turns it. I mean, yes. If if I interpret that to mean Sakar turns into a wolf, moves ahead to like the nearest like either fork in the road or upward incline to actually get into the keep proper, and is like using his senses to monitor any nearby patrols, then yes.
Yep.
Okay, let's do that.
My finely tuned animal, vegetable, mineral senses.
Okay.
39.
39 is a success.
I'm going to perceive some things.
So yes, Sakar moves ahead and has a pretty good idea of where the patrols are directly above you guys as you make your way through the sewer. That's going to take us to 7 Owls Wise.
All right, we are in the sewer, and we still need to be very, very quiet. And so 7 Owls Wise is going to use his stealth powers to avoid splashing around in the splashy bits that are in the sewer.
Okay.
37?
37 is a failure.
Oh, no.
I will go ahead and re-roll that.
With an action point?
With an action point.
Okay.
And I roll worse.
Okay.
So these action points, they don't do me any good. So I step on something very disgusting and I go, "Ew!"
Yes. Well, really, probably what happens is 7 Owls Wise is concentrating so hard in or on not making any noise that he doesn't see kind of a surge in the water of the sewer, which kind of hits him and carries him a ways down and gets him really far out of position, which is going to take us to Dallin.
Back when I was studying at the Cerulean Academy, Master Oram was very strict about making sure we had some electives very much outside of what our primary focus was. So one of the electives Dallin took was historical dwarven architecture.
That sounds good.
Sounds like Oram too.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
Sounds not at all made up.
So he'd like to use his knowledge from that course to determine where the best route to actually come up to be able to open the gates for the dwarves that are going to be charging in would be.
Sounds good.
That'll probably be a failure because that's a 32.
Yep.
I'm going to use one of my 3 daily rerolls.
Okay.
Because we haven't been in a combat for me to waste them yet. I did better.
Yay! Good job.
I'm going to spend an action point.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go.
There you go.
This
Yay,
no,
40s.
no. This no. This one. Yeah, this one. It's been a couple years. Sorry.
After some hemming and hawing, or maybe some hmming, Dallin is able to find the correct path that's going to take you up onto the gatehouse, and that's going to get us to the next round.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's a little sparkle.
So we're now at a gatehouse?
No, you just know where it is.
Guess I will try to use perception to guide us there because we're outside of our normal patrol range, so in case there are any ghosts that are or any other like old dwarven traps that we should be aware of, I'll look out for those.
Okay.
Nope. That's not going to work.
Wow. We just had awful rolls tonight.
I will action point, which will also give me a +5 because of my prestige class being jack of all trades.
Okay.
Into a 38.
A 38 is a success.
Hey.
I think we found our threshold.
We did, exactly.
Little sparkle, kind of figures out where all the patrols are, more or less, and kind of charts out a way for you guys to get to the gatehouse. It's going to take us to Albrecht.
Could I use my insight and, along with the recon information we got, watching the patrols, to basically best determine timing as to when to take this path that she charted out to get us there with minimal.
I feel like that's a lot like what Sam just did.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why we roll initiative.
Yep.
Just like screwed over in every possible way.
I went with history. No one ever uses history.
Well, the smart people do.
Yeah.
History for when you want your game master to yell at you.
Would dungeoneering be applicable to make a detour around a patrol that was in our intended path?
I'll allow it.
Okay. We'll see how this goes. On my super great scores. Oh, hey, but 38.
38's a success.
I had to roll an 18 to get there, but it worked.
Yeah. Don't knock a success.
Yes,
right.
Albrecht discovers that there are, in fact, lots of cellars and passages beneath the keep.
Excellent. It's able to go down one building
and
through
manages to get you closer to the gatehouse, and also, you can all pick up like a cask.
Up a flume around a balcony.
Sweet.
All right. So we're nearing the gatehouse.
You're nearing the gatehouse.
Is there a guy in the gatehouse?
Oh yeah, it's like there's like a gate person and also a couple of guards.
What can one do with powers that one has that don't suck? Ooh. I just had a thought. They're ghosts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can ghosts be frightened?
Yeah, I've used Intimidate on them previously.
You can intimidate a ghost.
Yeah, I did that with part of the last skill challenge.
All right. What do you think would frighten a ghost?
Being eaten by the obsidian huntress.
A spookier ghost.
Yeah, that's fair.
A spookier ghost.
The celestial power of a cleric.
I'm going to intimidate them.
Okay.
What could be scarier than a flaming animal, vegetable, mineral tree filled with shadows and blood and things that no one has ever seen before?
That is pretty scary.
I'm going to Dan Aykroyd it. I'm going to come up to them and I'm going to be like, you want to see something really scary? And they're going to turn into like the Crypt Keeper's, I don't know, tree house. So I'm going to try and intimidate these ghosts into deserting their posts. And I'm going to get a 38.
38's a success.
I thrust my fists against the post and scare the bejesus out of the ghosts.
Yeah. So Sakar casually climbs up to the gatehouse, and then there is a flash of fire and branches and monstrosities, and the ghosts scream and run off.
Nice.
Possibly also sounding the alarm.
But
it's fine because you guys are almost there.
We're almost there. It's fine.
All right. It's to 7 Ls wise.
Hey, look, there was a lot of sewage water down there that some of us, maybe all of us, got a little bit on. And the last thing that you want is infections. So I'm going to do a little preventative healing on everybody to make sure that they don't catch something bad right before a big battle.
I think maybe your focus here needs to be on throwing that gate open somehow.
Yeah.
Well, but see, that would be a power that I don't have well, okay, how about we do this? And if I miss this by 1, I'm going to be upset. I will do some acrobatics to jump on the scary monster thing's back, and I will jump up and pull on the big handle that opens up the gate using acrobatics.
I'll allow it.
Oh, 43 nat 20.
Boom.
Yay.
Dang.
I don't have to waste any more rerolls.
Yes.
You've climbed demon trees before.
I have.
So yes, 7 Ls wise, jumps up, climbs through Sakar's branches, and essentially crane lands on the big lever that activates the gate. And sure enough, all the gears snap into place and chains start moving and the gate begins to open. At which point, all the ghosts that were like, someone's in the gatehouse and we're heading in that direction, stop, turn around, and immediately catch an axe to the face.
Yeah. It's a big giant axe?
No, it's like, I mean, it is, because it's a dwarven axe, and those guys, like, their hands are like, you know, the size of a large hand. Like, imagine a very large hand, right?
Right.
That's how big they are.
So, like, how many inches?
Like, all of them.
Okay.
Like, from the bottom, like from the wrist all the way to the middle finger, very large. And the dwarves rush in and very quickly manage to secure the kind of main campus of the keep, with some ghosts kind of isolating themselves, basically locking themselves behind some doors, and in some kind of dungeon type places, like basically locking themselves in and like hiding. But again, the keep is not very thoroughly guarded, so very quickly you guys are able to take over.
Hooray.
Nice.
Yes.
Sweet. Let's loot this place
Yes.
for troll food.
Anything a troll would eat?
I mean, there's lots of dwarves,
That's what I was
but
gonna say.
you guys like go down, try to look at some of the cellars and stuff. You open up one of the cellars, and there is in fact lots of food. There's like just sacks and sacks of jerky here.
It doesn't look like it's been contaminated by the ghosts or anything weird like that.
No, it looks like it's been largely untouched by the ghosts. They don't seem to care about it. So
Nice.
Whoever last put it here, I mean, the bags are like real dusty because, again, nobody's messed with them. But you'd think there's probably enough jerky here for, like, this jerky could feed all the dwarves here for about a week.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of stores here.
So hopefully you can get at least a couple meals out of it.
Yeah, I mean, you can split it with Dwally. He doesn't have to eat all of it.
Yeah. And yeah, let's also like look around for any other, I don't know, information that might point to anything else for troop deployments or weaponry that we can use to upgrade the armies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Any big red scrolls that say evil plan here?
All right, you guys keep on searching. You find another big cellar that has booze. It's like big casks of like a brandy type thing. You find another cellar that has food as well. Basically, you guys find a lot of like hardtack. You find another cellar, and when you open it, it is very clear that this is like a very, very large storage space. Large enough that I mean, you could basically put everyone that was here, including Dwally, inside this area. It's like a small kind of complex underneath the keep.
Oh, wow. What does it appear to have typically been used for?
You guys head down?
Mm-hmm.
Carefully, yeah.
As you guys head down, you see, as you maybe light up some sun rods and head down, because there's no light there. There's like torch, what is that called? Like a sconce. But there's no torches. So with your sun rods, as you head down, you, as the light travels forward with you, you see a statue. It appears to be a very kind of rough cut kind of impression of a dwarf, and what appears to be a wall behind it at first is quickly revealed to be another row of statues. And as you continue to move forward, you see that there are in fact rows and rows and rows and rows and rows of dwarf statues down here.
Is this a crypt?
Yeah. Is it? That's what I was thinking.
It doesn't look like a crypt unless
okay.
these dwarves have really weird funerary practices. Like
Smash
there's like no offerings to them and no place to place offerings to these statues. If it was a crypt, like some weird graveyard, there would definitely, like, these guys would all be like holding bowls, or there would be something at their feet that you could put something to, and they would probably be labeled, which they're not.
Would someone with, say, the ability to divine whether something is natural or not be able to see whether these are dwarves turned to stone by something?
Maybe. You want to give me a nature check?
I do want to give you a nature check, because the first thing my thoughts is look out for the Medusas.
Or do they?
I guess my first thought is, not having ever participated in any other adventure of this party, is that they may be the same kind of trapping stones as the trolls.
Yeah, I was wondering that myself also.
38 on a nature check to see if they're dwarves turned to stone.
All right. As a pterodactyl in a chair scream as another 38 happens. Yep, Sakar's pretty sure that these are in fact dwarves turned to stone.
Oh no.
So does it look like there might be a cockatrice or a basilisk or anything down here living under this?
Investigating them, does it look like this was some kind of trap that did this?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it depends. Here's the thing about these statues. They none of them have like one hand in front and one hand behind and look like, oh no, here's like something that has snakes for hair. Like they're all standing perfectly straight, usually with their hands crossed. But sometimes, like almost all of them are holding some sort of weapon. And the weapon is like built into their body. Again, these aren't like, this isn't a perfect facsimile of a dwarf. It's like what is like, it's like
the clay soldiers.
Like, yeah, like you look at Albrecht, and Albrecht is like a perfectly rendered dwarf. You look at them, and this is like somebody told Bruce Timm, draw me a dwarf, right? That's kind of the general idea. Like their beards, like there's no individual hair in their beards. There's just the suggestion of hair with like swirlies or whatever. And their weapons are like flat against their bodies, and they're just kind of raised against them. So these dwarves either have a very specific panic response when they see a cockatrice, or
they were prepared for this,
or they did this on purpose, or whatever happened to them, they saw it coming.
We should find someone who lives here, because this could be one of, many things, but potentially they were allowed themselves to be petrified as a sort of reserve army, or this is something to do with the disappearance of Loredon.
Yeah.
But let's go get.
I'll go up and get one of the dwarves.
Yeah.
And bring him back, or her back. It doesn't matter.
Bring them back.
Who do you go get?
Is Jim? What's his face around?
Otto.
Yes.
Yeah,
Otto Jim Hand. That's his name.
Yeah, Otto's around.
Okay, I'll run and get him and say, we found something rather interesting down below in one of the stores, and maybe you can make something out of this, or maybe one of the others might be able to understand what's going on.
Yeah, okay, let's look at it.
All right, so I'll bring Otto down with me.
Okay.
Let's see, this is really odd.
This is odd. And he starts walking through the rows, Well, I think what we have here is some sort of on purpose turning into stone.
Yeah, that was our conclusion.
You know, legends say that in the olden days, if a dwarf went to the surface and saw the sun, they would turn into stone. So that's a story. I don't know why it would happen now.
Here.
Could this be something that Uldredon created as perhaps a failsafe or a backup?
Could be. I'm gonna get Barrett.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Because if we could figure out how to undo this, that would be very useful for the coming battle.
All right. So eventually, Barrett and Denby come down, and they look at this.
Super secret dwarven army.
Yeah. They kind of are like a little perplexed by it. Well, we can probably spend some time poking at these and seeing if what the deal is. Run some tests, I guess.
Seems useful because, yeah, if there's a way to undo this, then we could certainly use the extra fighters.
Well, if any of you can aren't too tired, we could certainly use the help.
Sure.
Sure. I mean, I'm not really expert in magic, but I'll do what I can.
Okay. And they start looking at him, poking at him.
I'll also poke.
Okay.
I'll pick one up and move it. Look underneath in case there's like a secret code word or something underneath.
Oh, give me an athletics check.
Okay.
And you have killed a dwarf.
I will spot him, yes, so he doesn't drop.
37.
37's pretty good, but these guys are very heavy.
Oh.
You can like
Hardy boys.
You know, yeah, you know, like when you're say moving like a vase or something, like you can't really pick it up easily, but you can like kind of walk it.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys are like they're not attached to the ground. You can take one and move it.
Okay.
Kind of by dragging it a little and
rocking
sliding
it back and forth.
Yep, exactly.
Looks like we're dancing.
Yep.
Yeah. How
Is
I move
there
my
any
dresser.
natural light that comes into this place?
Nope. At least, I mean, only through the door that leads down. So the majority of it is dark.
Yes, I'll take a look.
Okay.
Thanks. I assume Arcana.
Yeah. What are you looking for?
Signs of what may have specifically caused this, or some sort of idea of what could turn it around.
Okay.
That's a 28.
Yeah, I mean, you're again, other than the immediate like, oh yeah, like these guys probably did this on purpose, or at the very least they were resigned to it. You don't really get much.
Yay.
Just from a superficial analysis.
Why my dice gotta be like this?
Yeah, can I look around if there's like, I don't know, basically
Instructions?
Yeah, any type of like secret cache or inscriptions or like portals that would like either meant to bring sunlight in or shut all sunlight out or anything weird like that.
Sure. I mean, you don't need to like roll for that. You can spend some time looking around, and there is another entrance into this area, but it doesn't lead very far. It just leads to another kind of storage area, and you find a bunch of weapons there. Just like a whole heap of like mundane like axes and spears and shields and swords.
Yeah, I think that these were meant to be a defense force. There's an armory near here for them. It's just a matter of how we undo this.
Is there any kind of a divine intervention or something that could, or some kind of a healing undo spell or something that people might know? I I'm guessing, Albrecht, no one here of you dwarves know of this? You've not been passed down through your stories and your histories?
I mean, there are ways to cure petrification, but these dwarves aren't petrified in the normal sense. The way that right. The way that a cockatrice, for example, would do.
Yeah, the fact that they're like weirdly roughly formed is different. They would normally be super lifelike.
Yes. In a really, what it looks like is that they, in a very real sense, were turned into statues. Not petrified. It's not like they're not that their skin and muscle was turned to stone, but rather that they turned into actual statues.
And as such, that's an interesting thing then.
Maybe we should blink and see what happens.
I wonder if this would be time for somebody to try an actual history check and see if they can think of anything historically or mythologically about secret hidden underground stone dwarf armies.
That's something.
I can try.
Yeah.
These don't look like those stone things that came out from under the water and attacked your ship, do they?
Those were giant.
Yeah,
maybe they grow when you put them in water.
Metal, right?
Yep.
Yeah, those.
They were in the sense that they were like
simulacra of dwarves.
Yeah, simulacra of dwarves. Yeah.
I mean, I guess to some degree, but not super similar.
So Dalin doesn't necessarily recall like a story that's like, oh, here's the switch of how you turn a stone dwarven army like on, basically. But he definitely starts thinking about what you guys have seen so far, and again, since he took that historical dwarven architectural class, what are some of the architectural principles of the stuff you've seen so far? So what are some of the architectural principles of what you've seen so far in this city?
It's built to last.
Yeah, it's built to last. It's actually for a typically dwarven place, it's actually very high, or very everything is much taller than would normally be in a dwarven city. As far as keeps go, typical dwarven architecture has very wide paths and short frameways. This one's got wide paths and everything's taller, looking like isn't just dwarves.
Or particularly ostentatious dwarves.
Yeah,
that too. There is a bit more care put into everything than would normally be done for a keep.
Sure.
So perhaps a keep for the nobles or the higher class.
Possibly.
Or
maybe it's to keep these things
Is
safe.
it possible trolls used to live here?
Probably not. If trolls used to live here, things would be very different.
Okay.
You also saw some dwarven script on your way in. So if trolls were living here, all that stuff would be in giant.
Gotcha.
Which Albrecht can communicate to you, since you wouldn't actually be able to tell dwarven from giant if you don't know it, since they literally use the same alphabet.
Yeah. It's all backwards ours.
But Albrecht can point that out, or anybody who speaks either dwarven or giant.
So Albrecht.
Yes.
Yeah. What else? Tell me about the supernatural stuff that you've encountered in the city.
So many ghosts.
Good ghosts.
Right?
Yeah.
But those are foreign.
Yes.
Right.
So what is supernatural about this city?
Nothing?
Is it bigger than a bread box?
It is bigger than a bread box, but for cities that's normal. If it was smaller than a bread box, that would be supernatural for a city.
Right. That would be really small dwarves.
You mean the gravity thing?
That's one. That's one supernatural thing that you've encountered in the city. What else?
Oh yeah. Oh, that the dwarves just appeared out of nowhere when Ulridon woke up.
Yeah, the city and its population have some tie to Ulridon's consciousness and emotional state. That's another one. What else?
The troll traps.
Troll traps. Yeah.
Yep. That's possibly important as well. It is a very similar situation. What else?
The big old robots that defended it.
Yep. Dwarven craftsmanship. What else?
I feel like we're missing something really obvious.
The really
Yeah.
awesome forge.
Alredan's forge. Yeah. I feel like that is kind of part of like that whole like reverse gravity / like a god lives here kind of situation. You guys
Yeah.
actually haven't seen a lot of like weird gravity inversion since you've been outside of that area. That seems to be kind of unique to that.
Fair enough.
Mm.
They all acted like, well, I wasn't there, so I can't comment.
I mean, you can.
They all acted.
What-
They all acted like nothing had happened. Like
yeah,
no
once
time
they
had passed.
reappeared.
Yeah, once they reappeared. Yeah.
I mean, having like taken apart some of, or not, well, figured out how to do
The
like work the
stones.
troll trap. Oh yeah, lots of singing stones. Maybe we
The
can sing to
singing
them.
stones. Do you think
Do
that they're activated
oh.
sonically?
A lot of things
Should
do
we-
seem to be. I mean, is there like a, I don't know, a dwarven battle march or wake up song that we could sing to them?
Yeah, there's lots of those.
It may be worth a try.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
What is the morning wake up call at your military
Yeah, the
bases?
We
revelry.
gotta, yes.
The best part of waking up is putting your beard in your cup.
Well, I mean,
Ah.
Albrecht and his people would know if there was a
Too.
ancient revelry.
Albrecht,
Would we
do you
know
know
if
any
there's
songs of
Well,
waking up?
a reveille.
Yes, that's what I meant to
Revelry
say.
is the opposite of what you want.
Well, maybe
Well,
that.
right.
Maybe, yeah,
Whatever wakes them up.
Reveille.
yeah.
Well, we want the equivalent of that one Fallout Boy song that makes everybody get up and dance.
You know, the song that they play on the bugle to wake you up. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
That's Reveille.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Do
So you guys gather up some, because in this squadron there are some dwarves that can play music.
Nice.
So you guys basically get the military band together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're gonna have them play a dwarven like military like rally song.
Yeah, a call to
Yeah.
action
Yep.
song.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep. They start playing and singing, and nothing seems to happen immediately. But when they after they play a couple of bars, there's like a noise, and
Mhm.
it looks like that statue that Seven Owls Wise was messing with is like back in formation.
Is there a marching? Is
So-
there
yeah,
a marching to
that's-
battle tune?
Let's try a march, yes.
All right, a march, and they there's like they break out the big drum. And it's like boom, 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 boom.
Glow sticks pop out.
Yep. Crowd starts
Gotta
chanting,
wait for the bass to drop.
Goldberg.
And yep, the rest of the band joins in to a march, and sure enough, the after like a bar, all of the statues like jerk forward.
Ah.
Nice.
Mm.
And how many of these are there?
I guess you guys have been here a little while, like enough to count them. There's at least 1,000.
Awesome.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
Dang.
Spicy.
Let's march these things into battle.
Yes.
Is there enough gear in that little armory for them, or there?
They all had a weapon.
Oh, I guess they also have already have weapons.
Yeah.
But there's extra gear for our non-statue forces.
Yep.
Now we just need to march these things into the city and play out a battle charge.
Yes.
Yeah. Good foresight on Ulridin's part.
So what is the reaction from all the other dwarves? Are they like
Yeah,
super
they're pretty
shocked
amazed
by
by
this?
it. Yeah.
Nice. Does the plan snap together in everybody's heads at once?
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, definitely the like, oh, we have like some sort of army now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We want to do this now.
I mean,
Well, we should let everyone rest from the incursion
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
do it
yeah.
tomorrow.
Fair enough. All right, spread the word. Get everyone to rest up, and we'll move tomorrow.
So we haven't seen any of those other troll stones, have we, anywhere?
No.
Okay. Would Dwally know if there are any other troll stones around? Or would he not
You
even
can
know
ask
what
him.
those are? Dwally?
No, he knows. Like Dwally
he
was
definitely knows.
Yeah,
He was
Dwally
in
was
one,
in
dude.
one.
Yeah, I accidentally let him out.
But I mean, he might not know that he was in one. Dwally?
He knows. We've talked about it.
Dwally, have you seen any other troll traps around?
You go find them.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there's troll traps in other places.
You know, had you ever tried to free any of them?
Mm-hmm.
And no luck.
No luck. All dead.
Maybe not all dead. But okay. Well, it's too bad we couldn't free any more to join in this fight.
Mm-hmm.
We have some other warriors, some stone warriors.
Oh, sounds fun.
Yeah, we're going to go attack tomorrow morning. So eat what you want, drink what you want.
Don't eat everything you want.
And the dwarves are off limits, obviously.
That's true.
Yes. Signed contract.
Anything else we should talk about before this begins?
Otto comes out from the cellar. Before what begins?
The attack tomorrow.
Where are we attacking?
We're marching into the
We're clearing away to the pillar.
Oh. Sure.
Unless you have another objective that you think would be better on the way.
I mean, there's a lot of objectives on the way. We're very far from the pillar.
Oh. Well then, let's continue our liberation march towards it.
Yeah, that sounds good. Why don't you all get some rest? We'll start drawing up some plans.
All right.
Sounds good. Okay, well, I guess we will call it a night here. Once again, on Critical Hit. Oh, exciting times. I really like this stone army that we have found.
Yes.
I think that's pretty cool. So we will see what we can find at our next stop next time, because that'll be pretty cool, I hope. But until then, send us your email, podcast@majorspoilers.com. A number of you have been sending us some emails. And until next time, here's hoping all of your dice rolls are critical hits.
This podcast is copyright 2019 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.